how to find the perfect dose of testosterone. This video is for two groups of men. The first group is you're a man who's new to testosterone, you've never been on steroids, you want to feel better, you have poor mood, sex, or energy, you have low testosterone, your doctor has put you on testosterone. What's the perfect dose? The other set of men is going to be, you're a man, you've been on testosterone, maybe you've done steroids and now you're on TRT, you've blast and cruise and blast and cruise, now you're just on TRT. And you don't feel great. You want to know, doc, what is the perfect dose of testosterone? How do I find it? This is it, guys. This is it. I want to make this presentation really straightforward for you guys, but it's very technical, so I'm going to do my best. Please hang in there with me, guys. In the end, in summary, there's only two parts to this. There is delivery mechanism of action, which is the different types of delivery of testosterone that we have in the world. We have injections, we have topical, oral, and pellets. We have nasal and patch, but I'm not going to talk about those. Those things are really more esoteric. We're going to go into the most common types of delivery mechanisms of action of testosterone on the planet. And then we're going to go into how do you make it sustainable? Because if you're looking for the perfect dose of testosterone, you've got to feel good with mood and sex and energy and wellness and body composition. And it has to be sustainable with the medical issues, the ABCDs. And I'm going to bring it all together for you guys. So let's start off right up top, how to find that perfect dose of testosterone. What's the most common type of testosterone delivery mechanism? Absolutely injections. You can see my video. Testosterone injections are king. You'll see exactly why this is the most common formulation in the world. Okay, guys, microdosing is everything. You've heard it over and over, but you guys are new. I'm assuming a lot of you guys are brand new. Spread this for everyone in the world, guys. Your buddy's on testosterone. His doctor's starting it. They're making him go to take injections every 2 weeks or every month of Cypionate or Enanthate or Sustanon 250. That's wrong. It's going to be wrong, guys. This is called microdosing. Let's talk about what we're working with. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you're concerned for your testosterone levels. In addition to testosterone, you want to check sexually binding globulin, estradiol, free androgen index, and potentially cortisol. That's where I want to talk about today's sponsor. Let's Get Checked. They're a worldwide leader in at-home test kits, so you can get a comprehensive look at your testosterone levels and other labs without even leaving your home. You can order a test kit that will be delivered to you in discreet packaging. Once your sample arrives in the laboratory, confidential results will be available from your secure online account. These results are reviewed by a clinician, and a member of the Let's Get Checked nursing team may call you to review your results. Let's Get Checked laboratories are CLIA approved and CAP accredited, which are the highest ranking levels of accreditation for labs. So if you want to test your hormone levels without having to leave your home, visit trylgc.com. We're working with two types of esters, essentially short and moderate, long-acting half-life esters, and long-acting ester testosterone undecanoate. Okay, in America and over in Europe, all over the world, actually. So for this presentation, guys, and for the information I'm going to give you over here, I'm going to focus it to, again, the most common type of delivery, which is going to be Cypionate and Enanthate, and for you guys over in Europe, Sustanon 250 in the UK, Australia, even in India, Pakistan, Middle East. Love you guys, man. Love you guys. I know you guys have Sustanon 250 over there, so I slanted this presentation for that too, for you guys. So let's talk about the short, kind of moderate, long-acting esters, right? So moderate, long-acting. So it's Enanthate and Cypionate, right? And Sustanon 250. Half-life of Enanthate is about 7 days, plus or minus. Sustanon 7 to 10 days. Half-life of SIP is about 8 to 10 days. Very similar, guys. A lot of variation on this, a lot of fingerprint variation on this, right? Peak to concentration. This is stuff you guys need to know. Peak to concentration. You inject it once you're at steady state, which takes about 6 weeks. If you're a newbie guy, 6 to 8 weeks, you inject it. It's going to go up in peak and then come down. You need to understand this. So peak of concentration depends on the microdosing and who you are. And again, what other chemistries or what other medicines. Typically, this thing's going to start to peak right after the injection, even 12 hours, 24, 36, 48, and 3 days. So if you're going to the lab, guys, listen to this concept. There's something called nadir dosing. When is your doctor sending you to the lab? If you go to the lab at the peak of concentration with SIP, Enanthate, Sustanon, it's going to look crazy high. That's not the perfect dose because the doctor is going to say, oh, too much, bring it down. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. But I just went to the, guys, the physiology of these esters, super dynamic, ups and downs. That's why we're trying to make it microdosed. But do you need to inject every single damn day? I can't do it. That's why I love every 5 days. We're going to get 5 to 7 days, guys, maybe twice a week. So you need to understand this thing's going to peak. If you go to the lab, get your labs drawn, it's such a classic problem that your doc's going to say, oh my God, it's way too high. Then it's going to get all messed up. You're not going to have the right dose. There is going to be peaks and troughs. The way most doctors that do this are, we agree that nadir dosing is the way it should be done. You're at steady state. You're taking 0.5 ml of Cypionate every 5 to 7 days. Go to the lab the day of the injection. Don't take it. What's the low point? Nadir dosing. We look at that. It could be anywhere from 400 to 500. It's a low point, up to even 700 or 800. If it's 1300 at the nadir, you're doing something wrong. This is total, right, guys? I'm just moving through fast for you guys. Again, go by the feel and the dangerous stuff. We're gonna bring all this in here in the end. You're gonna see that this is the physiology, the physics, and the numbers of the dose and how you have to integrate this into your life with your doctor. They may not know this stuff. It's just they're very busy. These doctors are very busy. This is all I do. I own Testosteronology. I'm the world's first testosteronologist. I just live, sleep, eat, and poop this stuff. So I could just talk in my sleep on this stuff. So understand it, guys. You're on Cypionate, or Enanthate, or Sustanon. I left Prop out. Propionate, you're just going to shorten everything up. Okay, what are the doses, guys? Here's the common doses for me, myself, actually, that my doctor gives me. I asked for it. He said, okay. And that I give to my patients, and I monitor them very closely down here. 0.5 ml every 5 days of Cypionate. It's 200 milligrams per milliliter. If you're in Europe, you guys over there, it's Sustanon. It's obviously 200 versus 250. You got to shorten that, tighten that up a little bit. 0.35 every 5 days. That's typically perfect for Sustanon. Maybe every 7 days. Again, when in doubt, guys, low dose so it can be sustainable. You'll thank me down the road. If you want to microdose further, 0.15 every other day. Obviously, if it's going to be Sustanon, or for a lot of other guys, it's going to be even lower. Some guys have to microdose every day, every other day. That's real microdosing. That's a lot of work, guys. You don't really need to do it unless you want to do it, and you need to do it. You need to do it because of your mood, the acne, the mood up and down, and the sex, and the estrogen, and all this. It is true, guys, but most men don't have to do it. But they can't do every 2 weeks or a month. That's craziness. So every 5 days to 7 days is the sweet spot. So, but again, If it's every other day, this is microdosing for a lot of my patients, but they don't last very long on it. They end up going, Doc, this is crazy. I can't keep up with that schedule. Who can inject every day? Well, I mean, some guys do, but it's after years, most men don't. Some men do, very rare. So another frequent and common regimen for Cypionate, Enanthate, and Sustanon is 0.25 to 0.3 twice a week, or just every 4 days. Because twice a week, guys, 7 divided by 2 is what, 3.5? It's not really feasible to be injecting every 3.5 days, but you can. So you can figure it out. So 0.25 to 0.3 is beautiful, guys. It's similar to the 0.5 every 5, right? It's just very, very similar, but you can do it. You can figure this out, and these small doses. Now, let's go into IM versus sub-Q. This is going to be huge. You know the nadir dosing. You know Enanthate, Cypionate. You know Sustanon. I gave you the half-lives. I gave you the peak to concentrations, nadir dosing. Now, sub-Q can be good, guys. If you are really microdosing every day, every other day, and you have a small needle, like a 27 to 29 gauge insulin, and you're getting in there, you can do that. It's a lot of work, but it can be done. You do sub-Q, you do it here in the belly, like insulin syringes, or you can do sub-Q anywhere, delt or the leg. You could look in videos for that. Oil blends are going to be important, guys. I'm giving you all the secrets here. I'm just pouring it out. Grapeseed oil is better for post-injection pain. There's no real big studies on it, guys, that are like landmark studies, because no one cares. You can just have a place make grapeseed oil. It's a compounding place. I use it all the time, all over the country. Cottonseed oil is most commonly what's going to be formulated in standard big pharmacies, like CVS, Walgreens, and all those. It's just cottonseed oil. It's not bad. It is. There's also linseed and sesame oil. But grapeseed versus cottonseed, it's going to affect. And theoretically, the grapeseed oil compounded for these moderate acting esters, if you're sub-Q, microdosing may be better for the skin and for the pain, even for IM. So that was it, guys. Okay, we covered the injections. That's the meat of this presentation, for finding that perfect dose of testosterone, which is probably going to be injections. If you don't start injections, you're going to probably end up on injections. Trust me, 5 years later or within that time. And I want you to microdose. I want you to understand it. Again, the testosterone undecanoate, half-life of 30 days. It's given abroad every 3 months. In America, every 10 weeks. It's got this trajectory like this, guys, and it can be good for some men, but because the trajectory is going up and then down over months, you kind of, it's like a train missing your stop. You go through a period where you feel good, and then you lose it, but you're not eligible for the shot yet. The half-life is so long. I don't like it. I don't like undecanoate, and this injection. It also has a rare risk of, you put a big dose in the rear end and it's pulmonary oil embolism, guys. However, it's rare, but no one uses this in my world because everyone wants to microdose, and you can't you think you're going to microdose with this. Guys, do it. Guys, you can do it. It just doesn't make sense to do it because you have Enanthate and Cypionate and propionate to do it with, and Sustanon. It doesn't make sense. This stuff is phenomenal. You dial this stuff in. You dial in Cypionate, Enanthate, Sustanon, even Prop. Right? You're going to feel like $1 million. It's a lot of work, guys. All right. So, and if you don't, something else is wrong. That's why you got to come to the anabolic doc meetings, man-to-man meetings. Next, after injections, topical cream, gels, half-life, hours, guys. You put it on in the morning. You should go check the lab 8 hours later. You put it on in the morning. You go right to the lab within 90 minutes. It's going to look too high. Doc's not going to know what to do. The cream and gel could spread to kids. It can spread to the wife or to the partner. I'm not a fan of the cream. It's for some guy, but most common. In second place, it's the topical stuff. There's no question. when you're looking at the big numbers. And it's, for some men, it's no problem. It works. If you have fur, if you're a hairy guy and stuff, again, depending on what you're doing, where you're putting it on, what formulation of the gel, concentrations can be all over the place. It's just not something as great as these microdosing. Let's keep going, guys. Oral testosterone undecanoate. Look up here, guys. Testosterone undecanoate becomes an injection. Also comes in a formulation as a pill. It goes through the lymphatics. It's not an oral steroid like Anadrol or Dianabol. It doesn't affect the liver adversely. It runs through lymphatics. It needs to be taken twice a day, super short acting, with food, fatty-based food. Kind of could be a game changer, guys, and I think it might do well in the future. And you're just going to go to the lab anytime. I mean, you're taking it every 12 hours. So at the end of the 12 hours is the nadir. You see what's going on, guys? Nadir dosing, guys. We do it for chemotherapy. It's done here. We do it for all sorts of other medications. This is real medicine, guys. Really have to understand the science here. So topical, oral, don't like it. Topical, don't like it so much, but it's common. I have to give it to people. I do give it. Nasal, you can do nasal. That's pretty cool, twice a day. And there's patch, old school patches, scrotal patches on the arm. There's a pouch you can put like chewing tobacco in your mouth. That's old school. No one really uses this stuff. Maybe the nasal stuff will get good one day. And again, maybe the oral stuff is going to be good one day. It's possible, guys. It's been out there, but the marketing right now is going to be injections and topical. Those are your two big. If I'm gambling right now and you're on testosterone, you're starting it or you're on it for even years, you're on one of those two. But maybe you're going to go to one of these. Pellets. How can I miss the pellets? It's right here. Half-life of the pellets is 70 days. You put the pellets, they put all these pellets in, even up to 10 pellets in a trocar up in the top, under the skin here, up in the rear end area. It's not IM, and it's sub-Q. And they put it deep under the skin. Sometimes it extrudes, it comes out of the skin. I think it's just terrible. Again, like the long-acting undecanoate injection, it's got this very long trajectory up. You miss the train, you miss the stop. You can feel good, and then guys lose it, and then everyone ends up back up here on these microdosing injections or the topical stuff. But again, pellets, guys, I'm not against pellets. I just don't do it. I don't deliver. I don't. If someone wants a pellet, I say, awesome. You don't like anything else? You want to try the pellets? Here's a doctor I would refer them to. Pellets, it's just not going to be common when you look at the injections. Okay, we're done. Here we go, guys. You want to find the perfect dose of testosterone. I explained to you the physiology, right, and the pharmacology. Next, your challenge is to be sustainable. I've been on for 30 years. Life is not perfect. You have to feel great as you can. There's a lot of factors going on. You're doing testosterone for your mood. If you have general anxiety disorder, psychiatric issues, guys, this is going to be complicated. You're doing it for the sex. You're doing it for the energy. And then there's this well-being, which is kind of like confidence and kind of like everything in one. And then there's the body composition, and I threw gynecomastia in there. So this is feel good. You're doing it. You're finding the perfect dose. Guys, I just explained everything, how you find the perfect dose with these delivery mechanisms that are common. And it's for this versus as you do it, if you want to be sustainable, my ABCDs. Here we go, guys. Let's wrap it up right here because I talk about this every day. This is just a quick review. A, glycemic A1C, fasting glucose acne, stands for A. If you're on it, you better understand this is going to all end up referring to cardiac health, heart health, and prostate health. Prostate right there. Keep following me. A. So you better know your A1C and your fasting glucose. And acne is just, some guys can't take testosterone because they have horrific acne. So there's a way to dose around it. And it's not just anti-estrogens, guys, and DHT blockers. Come on, guys. It's not that simple. I wish it was that simple. But some guys it's not sustainable, and they can't find the perfect dose of testosterone, any type, because of acne. This is super complicated, guys. I've got everything crammed in here for you guys. B is blood pressure. Again, the heart. See all my medications that I have on my Instagram, Dr. Thomas O'Connor, Anabolic Doc app. Come to the app. I talk about this stuff. This is the meat of what I do for my men, that as I'm finding the perfect dose of testosterone for them, for my patients. So blood pressure, BiPAP, because that's B, so that's makes me think sleep apnea. Again, sustainability. C, cardiac, cholesterol, coronary artery calcium score. Sir, if you haven't gotten a coronary artery calcium score, it's not calcium on a blood panel. It's checking your heart to see if you have plaque in the artery. You're on testosterone, it means to tell me you're probably not 25, where you wouldn't need to check your heart, hopefully. But you're older, you're 35 or 55 or something. You understand C is cardiac. Check an echocardiogram, see your ventricle, your blood pressure, and check this coronary artery calcium score, and get on my app and let me help you with this stuff. I have videos all over. I'm interviewing doctors. You'll see all the information right here on YouTube. D stands for dad. Does your dad have heart disease? Back to the heart again. Deposition disease is most common when I think D. That's the red blood cell stuff. You're going to be on testosterone, most notoriously injections. It's going to affect the erythrocytosis potential for polycythemia and having too many red blood cells. This is super complicated. You need CBC, that's complete blood cell with red blood cells, platelets, and white cells. And you need the iron studies. Of course, D is also digital rectal exam and a PSA. That's going to be the prostate, heart, prostate. You want to be sustainable. You want to find the perfect dose. You want to feel great. You got it. You hold it. This is going to make sure you make it as long as you can. It's quality of life, guys. But don't you want a decent quantity of life with the best quality? A, B, we did C, D, dad, heart disease, family history. You got family history, get the things I'm talking about all the time. Deposition, that's the iron studies and the CBC. Digital rectal, get your prostate checked by a urologist. So last, ABCDs, that's the S. Sex, estrogen. Limit the aromatase inhibitors, guys. Finding the perfect dose of testosterone doesn't mean giving too much testosterone and blocking estrogen with anastrozole. Wrong. That's completely wrong. We could talk about it and argue about it later. So limit that. And then again, I threw in the prostate, the PSA, and digital rectal examination. Whew. Guys, this has been a lot.